to Nourish Your Soul TV, where collective consciousness meets to transform reality. Expect a miracle. It really is that simple. Just allowing it and lining up with it and breathing into it. Today, I'm honored to have special guest today joining us for an interstellar conversation with Riok and Bella. Bella is brought to us by Gita Rose. You can check out her website. And also we have Reuben Langdon in the house, who is the host and producer of Extra Dimensionals from Gaia TV. I encourage you, if you haven't already checked that out, go to Gaia TV, watch his interviews. He's got 2 complete seasons now of epic conversations with different beings that are extraterrestrials being channeled. So without any further ado, let's say hello to Gita.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Hi, it's so nice to see you guys in the room here and out there watching. Thank you, Michelle and Tyler, so much for having me today. It's a joy and a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. It's a pleasure to have you here, Gita. This is super exciting. I know last year, me and you were talking about this just as a dream idea about co-channeling and having our future selves channeling through us at the same time. And it's such an honor to see that dream now crystallizing in front of us. And as you were expansive enough to say, right, it's already happened. And now we're just watching its unfoldment. So such an honor and such a pleasure to be a co-creator with you in this way.
Thank you so much, Tyler. It's so fun. It's happening.
Here we are. We're doing it. We're doing it. Awesome. Awesome.
Welcome, Reuben.
Oh.
Yes, thank you guys. Thanks for having me. Part of this sort of historic launch, it seems. I had Gita on the show, and I guess that episode's going to be airing in a few weeks. So excited to for the world to see that interview, and looking forward, Tyler, in the future to having you on the show. And so super excited to sort of co-create in these early stages before we even get to that stage. And thanks for Michelle for having me on, and looking forward to some awesome channelings and fun times.
Absolutely. I just also want to say to everyone, I will reload this recording up on the Nourish Your Soul page. So if it's choppy, I apologize, but this is one of many conversations that we will be having with Bella and with Riok and with Reuben. And so I'm really excited about that. We actually have an upcoming event on June the 5th, the Strawberry Moon, where we are inviting you to join us. Jahira will put the link in the comments. You can register for that upcoming event. It'll be a 2-hour event with Riok and with Bella and with myself and co-host Reuben Langdon joining us to really get into some interstellar conversations together.
So exciting. So exciting. Such an honor. This is like the coolest situation I could ever ask for. And I feel so lucky that my job is to play with you amazing people in these really expansive and multidimensional ways.
Luck is making a choice that is in alignment with our joy. So.
So it is. Let's get the show going.
Sounds good. Well.
Okay, Riok and Bella, go for it.
Well, I guess we'll simultaneously go into our channeling states, and we'll take it from there.
The first time, we'll see how it goes. It's fun.
Yeah, it's exciting.
In this way, I guess. Yeah.
One more time.
First time we're aware of in this way, anyways, that we're doing this. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's synchronize with our dream selves who have had many of these talks. All right, and we thank each and every single one of you for the co-creation of this interaction. It is a very exciting situation for all of us, and we are very delighted to be able to play together in these new and expansive and exciting ways. And we welcome all of your questions, comments, and we welcome our beloved family member to this transmission.
To you all in this now of our time. It is our joy to be able to interact and create in all of these different ways, aligning all of these on new versions of all of us. Hello!
Greetings, Gita, Bella, greetings, Riok, we love you.
And our love to you always.
Our unconditional love to you as well. Hello, Riok.
Hello, Bella, and how are you doing?
We are always wonderful, yes, full of wonder as always to be able to be in this type of communication. Oh, how fun, yes?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, it is truly joyful, and to all of us, it represents the idea of a deepening of the integrative process of what humans have called the idea of the manifestation of heaven on earth. In that sense, we are honored to play the symbolic role in that sense of angels sounding trumpets, which really are, again, just the idea of your own higher energies buzzing the alarm clock saying, hey, wake up. And it is, in that sense, up to you whether or not that will be an alarm clock that is, oh, refreshing, time for a new day, or an alarm clock that says, I need to go back to sleep. We remind you, it is your beliefs about us. It is your beliefs about yourselves, your reality that determines what your personal frequency versions of Earth's ascension process is.
There is not any more that needs to be added to that.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. I would like to ask Riok and Bella if you would be excited about the upcoming transmission, the Strawberry Moon, with Reuben and myself diving into unpacking the Gray story together as a series of transmissions.
Oh yes, most certainly. This is a very relevant topic of conversation and story for many of you all to further understand, to be able to align with different versions of the his and her story, to truly be able to create the new stories moving forward. And it is through the understanding of the essence of the story. We remind you all that it is not necessarily what you believe to be true at all in terms of who we are and where we got where we are. It is not the details necessarily that create the matter. It is what you do with the story. And yes, there are extreme allegorical and important metaphorical and morality tales that come from fully understanding and integrating the knowing of the story of this particular type of gray, the Maze in this way as we refer to it specifically. So yes, this is one of my specialties, and the importance of this understanding is paramount moving forward.
We are very delighted to co-create with Bella and the other members of her species this transmission for understand the symbolism, the idea of a strawberry moon, the idea of the strawberry representing loosely in its configurations, the idea of the heart, The idea is the full moon for all of you represents in many ways the crown chakra, as you call it, so to say, activating, blossoming. And you all, in that sense, understand the tidal impacts that the moon has in relationships to drawing water upwards. For understand that as the moon becomes full, it is as if the water, the fluids in your body are brought to the higher upper centers. This strawberry aspect, which again, symbolically as a fruit, looks similar to your heart, also in relationship to the moon has to do with the coloration of the moon, representing the elevation of unconditional love within your own being rising upwardly. And understand that as we speak about the Maze, the Grays, the Zeta, understanding these terms are somewhat interchangeable terms referring to the same type of alternate human. Understand that as we invoke, so to say, their presences through the idea of speaking about them, recognize that this amplified love energy that all of you will be tuning into, in that sense, is communally reflected and emanated, so to say, to that species perception, thus allowing for you as a collective to assist the Greys, the Maze, in their own processes, which has a direct ripple effect upon the idea of the hybridization program and how it unfolds, thus shifting the hybridization program through your collective actions to a higher, more exciting, more joyful, manifested version of itself.
Beautiful. Thank you. Reuben, do you have a question for Bella and Riok?
I do. It's a rather. I'm actually, since we announced this the other day and I sort of posted it, I've been trying to think of this question, which is going to be a statement first, and then I think it'll form the question. We're in this interesting time right now. I think we can all agree globally with this lockdown and virus, and we're experiencing a number of different stories, contradictory stories about the virus, about its origins, about it's going to kill you, it's not going to kill you, it's going to, there's so much contradictory information out there right now. And it's creating in our social media platforms some great polarities that I'm noticing depending on which storyline you align with, and then what you post or what you decide to share as part of your story. Many other people then decide to attack or to try to contradict that story that you're aligning with. And I'm wondering what each of you might have to say in regard to not only the corona story, but our political story, which has almost become one and the same in a sense. You're either for this person or against them, and there's no real, even though myself, I like to find that center point, and as our great teacher has said, all truths are true, and I try to take all bits of it in. But even that in itself now is getting attacked in the sense that if you don't align with something, now you are part of the problem, so to say. So with both of your wisdoms, what could you share about this polarized reality that we've sort of all created for ourselves, unless you just completely cut yourself off of social media? I guess that may be the ultimate answer, but I'll let you guys go into that, and whoever wants to jump on it first.
Well, understand that, as you have said, all truths are true. It is up for you to write your story. We remind you, there is no objective reality. You have the ability to take a narrative that you perceive in your external reality and claim it as your truth. But understand, you also have the ability to be the master storyteller of your life and craft your own narrative about what's occurring on your unique frequency of Earth. And that frequency of Earth does not have to have anything to do with the idea, so to say, of many of the dynamics of those narratives. For example, many of you have negative definitions about the idea of a virus. Understand, you all have viruses within your bodies that actually play a symbiotic role within you that's quite positive. And that is nature's way of saying to you that viruses can be experienced positively. Understanding this, recognize you can create definitions about viruses on your unique frequency of Earth, and understand because there's no built-in meaning to them, you can impose any meaning you prefer upon a virus. It is a spiritual ally. It assists me in upgrading my own DNA. It reminds me that I am always in a state of perfect health. And understand, you can be this creative with any meaning you impose upon a neutral prop. We remind you, to invalidate another's story is to invalidate your own story about yourself and your frequency of Earth. Recognize, as you have said, host, all truths are true. Therefore, when you allow all truths to be true, you are allowing for your own truth to remain truly embodied for you.
Wonderful. Bella, would you have anything to add or
Another
say to that?
prism to look at, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is also a way for you all to get even more deeply in touch with the feeling body. Yes, absolutely everything that Riok just reflected is true about no inherent truth. And also, then in this time of reflection and very clear forms of separation, different worlds, this allows you all to very much feel when you may be triggered. We might say to feel as though there is this type of conflict, the experience of conflict, and to utilize this as the alarm bell, the bell that rings to invite you to find, as you know, what it is you must be believing is true in order to be interpreting this frequency as this particular feeling. We then also invite and open the idea for the space of the imprint, the core aspect of the experience of the forgetting, what has been the cyclical nature, we might say, of the trauma of being in separation, and that these intense feelings will very much shine the light on these very core imprints that need to be felt, that need to be addressed, that need to be moved into the heart space to be able to allow individuals to more so perfectly know what is true for that individual, what you know to be true for you about your particular universe. So this is an amazing opportunity for you all to be very much triggered, we say again, to feel very deeply, as many of your friends and relatives and people within your communities are now reflecting very, very different truths, very, very different ideas, and this allows the opportunity for great feeling to then dive into great exploration. And then also we do advise that, yes, we all understand that you are having fun, perhaps watching on your interwebs right now on the inline connection and interaction, but as you very eloquently found the answer perhaps for yourself, this is a time of, again, an invitation into the isolation, the isolation, the quest of your sequestering, the hero's journey into diving very deeply into thyself. So yes, it may be beneficial to limit one's exploration on looking at the external realities as you continue to more so define what you know to be true for you during this quest.
So taking a little break, for me at least, might be a good thing, and maybe for some others.
Well, for many others as well. And to
right.
into account of what it is we are saying, to feel, to know what it is we are saying, about how to get very, very aware of your feeling bodies so that you can do the excavation, the exploration, making the process, the passion of discovery, of truly utilizing this time to integrate new beliefs, to become what it is you know you are, to find your truth, your reality. So not just for you, we're not just picking on you. There are many individuals that would benefit from this type of true sequestering.
And with the feeling aspect, I think one thing that we all can agree collectively is that we all feel something is off, no matter what belief system of those who are, as Riok was saying, understanding the positive aspects of the virus and integrating those and not living in fear, and then those who are more afraid and wanting the disinfectant type of reality, and pushing the virus away. Again, both being valid explorations, but like I was saying, either side, so to say, can feel that something is off with, say, the global narrative or the way things are being handled. There's a lot of just uneasiness that maybe many of us aren't able to put a specific pinhole or put a specific label on this feeling, and therefore it's creating a lashing out against other ideas or other beliefs and these kinds of things. Anything to comment upon that?
Well, we remind you, it only appears as if you have one global narrative, so to say, but as you can tell when you use your social media platforms, there are many seemingly competing narratives that are running parallel, side by side at the same time. And as you pointed out, oftentimes these narratives will be very contradictory. One of the reasons all of these seemingly contradictory narratives are running together simultaneously is to, again, remind you that now is the time to craft your own story. Understand that you are essentially, through your isolations, through your idea of taking a more hermit-based approach, so to say, to your lifestyles temporarily, you're drawing all of your energies in, so to say. You are, in that way, directing your senses and your physical energies more inwardly. And as you bring all of these energies inwardly, it is as if you are making a pie and you are bringing in all of the different ingredients to that pie so you can put it in the oven of creation and then eat your cake, so to say, have your dessert. The idea is that as the pie comes out of the oven, it is going to, in that sense, be paralleling the point in time when you then reemerge into your civilization. Understand that your narrative represents the flavoring of that pie, the quality of the pie, the type of pie that you will, in that sense, be consuming, so to say, as your experience of physical reality. The reason all of these seemingly contrary narratives are running together is to remind you that it is all right to think for yourself. It's all right to believe what you prefer to believe. And all of these individuals, even though it may seem as if they are at odds with one another or they are at odds with the virus, recognize they are doing you a generous service. They are showing you the ability to think for yourself, the ability to come to your own conclusions, for you to be able to write your own story. And as you craft the story of your preference, as you create the definitions of your preference for yourself, your earth, whatever it is you're inspired to redefine, as you create these new definitions and as you crystallize them, it will be as if that energy you have been condensing will then expand outwardly as your external reality, which, going back to the metaphor, is synonymous as the timer of the oven going off and the pie of creation coming out of the oven, ready for you to consume. So understand, you're the master chef. You're the master storyteller. Create the meanings you prefer. Take positive actions based off of those meanings so you can reemerge into your civilization in a way that represents your highest preference. So when you interact with your civilization, it will be as if you are opening a door into a brand new version of reality that's a signature frequency match for your frequency.
Excellent. Thank you.
We literally are the reality that we exist in. We literally are the reality we exist in. And I feel, Bella and Riok, you can validate this, that we are experiencing now more than ever the collapse of what we would know as time itself. As the more present we become within ourselves, the relationship between space and time is no longer what it once was.
Well, you are observing what it always has been. You are now aware of the structure of time and space the way that it always has been. So you are having the experience of it shifting, but that's not necessarily what is actually happening. You are awakening to its true nature. That in essence is what your ascension process is the relaxation and realization and full remembering and the integration, the knowing of what has always been the structure of your existence. But yes, we understand the sensation and the experience of the shift.
And as you continue to expand your energies, as you continue to integrate the idea of your highest passion, your highest joy into your lifestyle, understand a side effect of that is you create less time because you are flowing like a river. You are in that sense, a perpetual flow state. So in that sense, you collapse the sensation of time passing. Now understand, we in that way, as Sasani, still experience a degree of time. And in that sense, we experience age, as do all of you. However, understand, because we have lived in this type of dynamic of following passion over generations of evolution, it is very natural to us. And we perpetually then experience our civilization as being in a constant, everlasting flow state. And as you continue to remain in this flow state over generations, that then essentially shifts you, so to say, to a version of reality that you would call fifth density or the fifth dimension, where you become entirely non-physical, where time then really ceases, so to say, to be a factor. So understand, you are becoming more like a spirit when you are in the flow state, thus you experience less of the sensation of time passing.
And I would say that the virus is really a reflection on the collective level to get rid of fear, because there is no virus. I mean, it's really just the fear that we have to embrace and do the work around it and transform it.
There is also the very real experience of what you are calling this coronavirus. That is a result to some degree. We understand there are many timelines going on that are relevant, but to some degree we are taking the platform, you might say, of sharing that it is due to a collapse of certain ecological systems within your consensus world. And that, yes, we do understand that it is the mirror, the reflection of the idea of fear and beginning to choose other ideas. Yes, absolutely. And then also is taking the full responsibility, one might say, of being stewards of your body, your earth, in many different ways, and having a relationship with the planet Gaia and being able to rehabilitate the self, communities, and her in many different ways. This is the level of the story that it is important, if you so choose, to adopt.
And we remind
yes,
you, we're not getting rid of fear. For where is there for fear to go? It's all right here, right now. You're not necessarily putting it in the trash can and then the trash man comes and takes it out. It's all within your consciousness. Mechanically, what you're doing is you are integrating your own energy that is not in true harmony with the natural self. So the idea is when the fear emerges, recognize it is there because of a belief system. You don't have to push outwardly. You have to reflect inwardly, to observe the fear, to feel the fear, to love the fear like you would love your own child. Because that fear, as we have said, is your own energy. So love that fear in the same way you love yourself. And that will allow for you to smoothly integrate the energy of the fear so you can ask the question, what must I believe to be true about myself in order to be experiencing this fear? And through that love, through that joy, through that cocoon of cradling that you are forming with the fear, you are then allowing for that fear, aka your own emotional body and higher self, to communicate the underlying belief system to you in a way that is clear and cognizant. For if you attempt to push the fear away and then say, well, what do I believe in that creates that? It's as if you are saying, how did that artist paint that picture while you're looking at the artist across the earth with a tiny pair of binoculars while they're painting? You must bring it in. You must observe it. You must embrace it. And that is how you are able to easily transform the idea of the emotion you call fear, which is just a messenger. It's an ally. It's you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. So what, Bella and Riok, so what would we have to believe collectively to have the lack of respect, I guess is the best word, for beloved Gaia, for our clean air, clean water?
It relates to the idea of your belief system about yourself. Many of you do not respect yourselves fully. And you live in ways that are actions that are based upon that self-disrespect. So the idea is when you recognize you are unconditional love and you are an eternal being, the idea is that respect is naturally built in. It's a side effect of understanding and knowing that which you actually are. So in that sense, you could say it's an invitation to get to know your true self. And the respect is then automatic.
And also, there was the experience in linear time of the visitors, we might say, the minors, that you all carry the genetics of, did not respect Gaia. So yes, there is the level that many of you can benefit from further respecting yourself. And then also owning and knowing in many different ways that there was a deed, an act in many different timelines that was not appropriate to have happened. Now, we don't mean in any way, shape, or form taking a victim type of mentality, but it is important to feel and experience what unconditional love is not, what true love is not, so that you can further know what it is you truly are. So there is a level of understanding the story, the cycling nature of the hubris that is important to own to a certain degree, that then allows you to fully reclaim your power. To find this paradox in the understanding that yes, it is a reflection, and what different levels of yourself, of your bodies, of your being can you further learn to respect and know the value and know the unconditional love and know the light that you are, and then also paradoxically taken ownership of what has been done, seeing the story and ownership of the story and any different timelines or parallel reality versions of you that may present themselves to help you further integrate and remember and let go of this story. But this is also a level of what has occurred, and by feeling the story, you can then truly choose to take actions to be that fully allow you to be the representatives and connections of Gaia, that you were not actually, we say, created to be.
Thus teaching those whom helped give rise to your civilization through the idea of your embodied actions of unconditional love. We thank you, Bella, for your highlighting for the collectives here of some of the origins of some of these energies that demonstrate a deficiency of respect for the planet.
Thank you for clarifying so that I could do the work on that for the collective. So I invite all that are listening here to repeat after me if you so choose. I speak on behalf of our ancestors, upline and downline. I forgive myself for all the times and ways I was disrespectful of myself and that of Lady Gaia, Mother Earth. Take in a deep breath and exhale. I forgive myself for all the times and ways I forgot about the sacredness and the holiness, which is thyself connected to source energy God and that which is Gaia, beloved Earth. And breathe in. And I forgive that group in which the minors that Bella mentioned for the incident that occurred that affected many, that are ramifications that have been playing out for millennium. I forgive them and I ask that all actions that were not congruent with that of the sacredness of life to be made null and void on all levels, all layers, all dimensions, all timelines, and so it is. We, the collective humans and all beings, all ancestors, all tribes, upline and downline, claim our freedom, our sovereignty, and that which is health, that which is in alignment with the truth of divine love, and so it is.
We thank you so much for the co-creation of this interaction and this transmission. We are so deeply excited for all of the upcoming play dates that we have with all of you and with our family members, the IL. And we thank you all for this co-creation.
We remind you all and all aspects of the lineage, our ancestors and all of our children listening, that all of us together now are very new versions. We have all in this now repatterned and opened up new doorways, new slipstreams of freedom, unconditional love, light, power, true transformation to ultimate integration.
Reuben, do you have anything before we close?
I'm good, thanks. Thank you, guys.
It is our joy to, with you all in this way. We thank you to all of those present, listening, shifting, feeling, choosing, being, and acting to create new universes. We thank you to hosting this event. What fun it is to connect to our Sasani family in this way and to all of our ancestors. We remind you all that the door is always open. our deep, unconditional love to all.
Conditional love to all.
Dum dum dee dum dum dee dum dum say 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 dum 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 dee dum dum dee dum dee.
Wow, Reuben, I don't know about you, but I feel like we were on board a mothership.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. Awesome.
Really, it's really good.
Yeah, I think as a little sampler for what's coming up in June here, this has been a fun experience.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, Gita, I have
Very
so
much
appreciation
enjoyable.
for your gift and for doing this with me. This is definitely a new level of channeling for sure. I mean, as my Tyler incarnation, like returning to a more physical reality perspective, I feel remarkably different than how I have like felt before. So like calm, very, very good, very good. I thank you for playing with me and for this awesome co-creation. I'm so excited to see all the magic that ensues.
Oh, of course, Tyler is so powerful, and thank you. And it's both of us, you know, reflecting and bringing it all together, and all of us, and Reuben and Michele and Cece, everyone here are part of this, and everyone watching. And yeah, I'm quite emotional, really. I feel like I could just kind of like go cry for hours in like a really good, like beautiful, like release way. My heart feels so I'm quite like, like I feel a lot of energy. It's kind of, yeah, it is very new and very powerful, and a new way for us to continue to create in this way. So it's really beautiful, and the appreciation appreciates as we all appreciate each other, appreciating and appreciating.
Well said, Bella. Spirit had kind of given me the nudge a couple days ago that prepare for some forgiveness work that may unfold as the story emerges. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I feel you too. I totally resonate with what you're saying as we cleanse and purge and let go and just allow ourselves to integrate and raise our frequency into more love and more honor and more sacredness into the holiness of all of us that we are birthing and crystallizing together this heaven on earth. So
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So beautiful. Wow. Well, geez.
Ruben, anything that you want to comment?
Yeah. Where do we go from here, right? So no, it was great insights. I love the balance of, you know, Tyler and Riok, and a little more, in my sense, my take away from it was the mental capacity to understand what's happening and to rewriting the story and those aspects, and then Bella's emotional sauce to make sure that we don't get too much in our head and to really feel the other aspects of that, and that there is this right left hemisphere and balancing it out. And I felt that was really well represented between the both Riok and Bella, and Tyler and Gita, and bringing this through. And Michele and your intuition to bring through the little message at the end there for forgiveness and sort of rewriting the story, a little exercise there that we could both hear it physically in a mental capacity, but then also feel, giving that breath, that time, that extra little moment pause to have the emotional response. Because sometimes the channeling information is so dense with information that we forget to take those pauses and those breaths and those and feel, right, what's happening, to process it all, right? So yeah, it was awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Absolutely. We have to feel it to heal it, and that's what we're here to do.
Yeah. This is great, guys. I'm very all types of things right now. I'm very, very much in love, and absolutely, Michele, that was, I love what we did here today, because I see this as such a foreshadowing of what is to come with other events. And that to me is so exciting, because I mean, we had, right, like 2 amazing perspectives from Riok and Bella, and we had great questions from Reuben. And then we had that amazing moment of reflection facilitated by Michele to help like process some of this stuff. And I'm just like, I mean, I feel like we are doing something together here that is in many ways entirely brand new. And that is it's again, such an honor. I had no clue when I was 6 years old I was signed up for this, but I am so happy that this is what it was.
And just awesome. really quickly, you guys, there were great questions coming from Michele and Reuben and everything, but also there was a lot of telepathic questions, because I got to tell you guys, coming in, I had like my own questions, and I'm sure that the collective has them too, which is like, I have little children, for example, and I teach the children that you create your own reality. Yes, there's a talk of a virus out there, but it doesn't matter to you unless you make it matter, right? Basically the gist of it. Mm-hmm. And then one of the things that I've always had to balance is, the integration of this collective experience as you are still holding your own reality. And the whole stream was about that very topic. So amazing. I gotta wonder, are our own inner thoughts being scanned from like a higher dimension so that we can get them answered when the time comes? It's amazing.
Yeah, that is how it works to some degree, for sure, with even just our higher selves, just as our human nature is completely telepathic, and we're learning how to be aware of it. And then with Riok and Bella, I know for me it was more potent than it had ever been before, in terms of so sometimes I'll feel like it's a kind of a funny analogy, but I feel like I'm a horse, and I feel like I'm being like ridden, like directed of where we're going. And there's a sensation of like pulling on the reins, like, whoa, like, wait, don't say that just yet. Or like, so I was having more awareness of those kind of moments. And I think it'll become a practice to sink into it, to know more completely, like, oh, Riok's going to go first or whatever. But I was also more aware of that telepathic relay that you're talking about, where they're able to it's so many levels and layers of it that they're able to help facilitate it and just kind of shine the light on a little bit brighter for us to see what has always been happening. Yeah.
That's a very palpable sensation too. That was definitely something I felt as well, because I know when I was in the trance, I could hear my brain being like, I wonder who's going to go first. Like, and those thoughts were coming in, and then it was so cool to like watch how that happened. And like, they never talked over each other once. As far as I didn't hear them a little bit. Okay. Pretty good though. Pretty good for our first time.
Yeah. And that's a skill for us. It's almost like getting used to being in like a different level of the channeling state. So I think next time our brain will be asleep more, so we're not our personality isn't thinking, oh, like who's gonna go first? Like we're just relaxing to know that they've got it how we relax into the channeling state regardless. So yeah, it was good for a first go though, for sure. It's fun.
Yeah, really well done.
And what was really cool is he knew, so you came through before me. But he knew where I was in terms of connecting with her. So it was almost like an introduction and like, here's another member of our family. And it was perfect. Like she was ready to start the tone and go out of the gate. So that I was kind of aware of that moment. And that was really cool because that was perfectly timed. So
yeah.
Well, I loved this interaction. I really felt this telepathic flow state that was just, we were all just in that flow state and we still made it work. Even though we had technology hiccups, it's still recording. I'm going to be able to upload this. And Alan Steinfeld wants to stream it on New Reality. So if you guys give me the thumbs up, I'll let him also do that if you guys are interested in that. Reuben, do you have your permission? And Gita, are you permission for Alan to stream this on his YouTube channel? Gita?
Yes, thumbs up. Absolutely. Fun.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Good. And I was sensing, I was just going to say, I actually feel the gray counterpart of myself and them, like we're helping them to integrate more higher aspects to come home in a sense, you know, because those are the parts of ourselves to really come back home full circle. And that's part of what the revelation is that Bella kind of talked about, that it was, you know, paramount to still be expressed in some ways. And, you know, I don't know what that looks like. And I'm honored to be of service in this way to transform and to liberate and be, you know, the messenger for unconditional love and to bring out the divine Christ in one another. So thank you.
Excellent. Oh my gosh, my friends, such an honor. I've had an absolute blast. I'm gonna get off for now. I have a few phone calls to some family members I gotta make, human family members, not space family members. but my friends, unconditional love to all of you. And Reuben, thank you for co-hosting. Gita, thank you for co-channeling. Michelle, thank you for your awesome, amazing job hosting. And Cecilia, thank you for being like such an amazing messenger. You came in right at the right time. Be like, hey, you guys, everyone can see you. So my love to all of you, and we'll be in touch.
Thanks, Tyler. Unconditional love to everyone. Reuben, we'll have to have you on again another time when our internet is better, I think is the best choice at this moment. But I want to say I really loved getting to play with you in this capacity to further open contact. So it's awesome.
Likewise. Thank you very much. And look forward to more fun, exciting, interdimensional conversations. Extra-dimensional conversations.
Yeah. Extra-dimensional, interstellar contact conversations. Happy First Contact Friday, everyone. Go and register. The link is in the comments of the videos. We will also upload this in its full capacity so you can see it. We'll have the link in the bottom for the Bella and the Gita with Riok, Tyler, Interstellar Conversation coming up on June 5th, Strawberry Moon with myself and Reuben. So we look forward to you joining us on board that mothership for that Interstellar Conversation. Stay true to yourself and just know that you're loved, and this is what you're here for, to shine brightly as emissaries, representatives of Mother Earth for First Contact. We're all in this together. Unconditional love to you.